Good morning, Year 5. Hopefully your first day of distance learning went well. You've sent us all your work and we've responded to it. With the arithmetics, they're still going to be every Monday. If you show us your workings and you still don't know how to get the correct answer, as long as you've shown us your workings, it will help us massively. Send a picture of it in and we'll respond to that. So if you didn't do that yesterday, then please feel free to do that in the future. Today's lesson is understanding percentages, and there's a starter that's up. It's just 3 questions in 3 minutes. If you want to spend more than 3 minutes on it, then that's fine. Just remember that a maths lesson, as normal in school, would be an hour. So that's what we're expecting from you. After we've done that, let's work our way through the PowerPoint. Now, I'm not used to videoing myself or a screen, holding a camera and trying to do some work. So apologies if this isn't great, but hopefully you'll get some out every morning just to help you get started if you need it. So the first slides as we go through are here. Now it's not very clear on the board, so some of these blue ones aren't great. So just do the best you can. Now I've printed one off so we can do the introduction and the varied fluency one together. So if you need it, we're going to work through it. So it's a little bit more clear here. First things first, what we need to think about with percentages. Percentages, cent in the word, means 100. So it's out of 100, as we can see over here. Fractions can be out of 100 as well. So we're looking at what is this here, shaded as a fraction and also a decimal. Now, if we just count down, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 by 10, so this is 100 grid. So this is out of 100. First things first, we need to go through and count up how much is shaded. So that counts as 10. That's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now I've just put a line there. I mean that whole line counts as 10. So we've got 7 whole blocks of 10, which is 70. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 75 out of 100 shaded. Now that as a decimal is going to be something. So if we write it down as a fraction, if I put it over here, we've got 75 out of 100. That's it as a fraction. 75 out of 100. Now we need to think about that as a decimal. Now if we've got 100 out of 100, that would be 1. Here we only have 70 out of 100, so that's 70%. Over here, if we have 1, that would be 1 whole, but we have 0.34. So that would be the equivalent to 34 out of 100. If you get stuck on your decimals, let's just remember this is the ones column, decimal column, tenths column, 100ths column. So we've got 400ths, 3 tenths, that's 34 out of 100, because tenths column and 100ths column. So it's not either of these, so we can put a little line through these. 0.75, 0.75, we've got 5 hundredths, 7 tenths, 7 tenths, 5 hundredths. Yeah, that is 75%. 75%. So that's what's shown here. Down here, 30 out of 100, also 3 over 10, so 3 tenths. Here is 30 hundredths, that's 30%. Over here, we've got 0.7, so that would be 7 tens. After place value 0 could go. With the place value 0, that would just be 0.70, which would be equivalent to 70 over 100. So it's not going to be this one either. Now 3/4. 3/4 is interesting, but it's not out of 100. So first things first, if you would like to, and I would recommend it, is let's put it into a fraction over 100. So 4 to get to 100, we need to times by 25. Whatever we do to the denominator, we need to do to numerator. So we need to times the top by 25 also. This is just an equivalent fraction. So we're not changing a fraction at all. It's just now not going to be in its simplest form. So if we know that 40 times 25 gives us 100, that's now out of 100. 3 times 25 would be 75. Again, 75 is the same as what we had over here, 75%. So circle the fraction and decimal which match the picture. 75 out of 100, we've said is 0.75, and also, as we've worked it out as an equivalent fraction over here, it would also be 3/4. So some of these introductions won't be quite so straightforward, and if you need to turn them into the equivalent fractions, please do so, okay? It's not about rushing through this work, it's about making sure that you understand it. Like I said before, this is time we're not going to get back, so please do ask questions. If you're stuck on this straight away and I haven't explained it very well, just message into the relevant group or class you're in and we will help you. So that's the introduction done. Next one we're looking at is the varied fluency. Again, it's a little bit easier to see on these. My printouts that I've done on the screen, just do your best. So we're looking at match the grids to their percentages. Now with the top grid up here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's out of 10. If we put these into fractions, how many do we have out of 10? There's 2 spare, so if you just count them up, we've got 8/10. 8/10, because if we're looking at percentages, cent means it's out of 100. So we can just go straight away into 8/10 as equivalent fraction. We need to get it out of 100. So we could times by 10 at the denominator, times by 10 in the numerator. Remember, we're not changing the fraction. It's just equivalent fractions. So then 8 times 10 is 80. 10 times 10 is 100. So we've got 80 over 100. If we look at the percentages down the same side, 80 out of 100. If we have 100 out of 100, that would be 1 whole. If we have 100% of something, that's also like having the whole thing. That's 1 whole. So 80 out of 100, yeah, it would be 80%. So we could join those up. Second one, just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, it's 100 square. So we can just count how many we've got. Now I'm going to mark the notches again, showing that it's 1 complete row of 10. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. So we've got 78 out of 100. Now 78 out of 100, there it is up the top. We can link it up to 78%. Okay, so then in the last one, process of elimination, we're presuming the pink shaded in is going to be 60%. However, make sure you work it out, because there could potentially be a deliberate error. Okay, there could potentially be a deliberate error. See if you can spot it. So it's out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10, which is equal to times by 10 at the top, which is our numerator, times by 10 at the bottom, which is our denominator. 10 times 10 is 100, which is what we've got to get it out of, because we're talking about percentages. 6 times 10 is 60. 60 out of 100 is obviously then equivalent to our 60%. Okay, can you see all the workings that I'm doing on a piece of paper as I'm going through? This is what you can be doing as well. So if you're doing it on a piece of paper and you don't understand, then you could just take a picture of the piece of paper and go, not quite sure how to get that answer. Can you help? We might be able to spot that you've done 8 times 10, and you've put, I don't know, 18 or something like that. And we could help you spot your mistakes. First things first, let's just remember we're all allowed to make mistakes. So this is your introduction to decimals as percentages and understanding percentages. So hope this helps. Good luck with your work, and make sure you send in for help if you need to. Thank you very much.